we'll talk about that first. And you were named in that famous report on the NWSL that outlined allegations of mistreatment of players. How does it feel to be in America, where if you weren't coaching Ireland, your employment as a coach would be conditional on you acknowledging some misconduct?
Of course, at this moment I was not looking forward, but it's the very best thing that we can do for preparation for the World Cup. These allegations in the report are absolutely ridiculous and false. There's no truth in it, and I know I find a lot of safety in the truth. So yeah, we need to face it. I'm not gonna let them not having the best preparation because of me. I need to sacrifice myself.
And Sinead Farley has been cleared to play for Ireland. She was also at the centre of these allegations. It's extraordinary. Did you have to speak to her about your own feelings regarding the investigation?
Well, we've been in contact before she actually started training already. And we started with this conversation because I wanted her to feel comfortable if she would go this route. So we had a long conversation before she even started training. And in that process, she trusts me, she trusts the truth.
Can we wait for the microphone? Sorry, moving forward.
What can you do now to further clear your name with regard to that report?
I think the only thing what I can do is say the truth. There's no reason for having any doubt in the way that I am dealing with teams. In that report, there's things they said like body shaming, which is absolutely false. If there's one thing that I don't do, it is body shaming. There's no scale in my room, my dressing room. There's no fat percentages taken. There's even the ridiculous thing that a player would pull up her shirt and that I would have fat claimed her in it. Whereas I cannot remember, but if there's something like that happening, I'm protecting her, that maybe somebody's taking pictures or something. There's been an accusation about fruit. How would an adult to another adult say that you cannot eat fruit? I mean, even if you would think about it, it's the most ridiculous thing that you can think about. If it's getting something of education for something like that, it could be that I've warned them for eating fruit 3 hours before the game because of the hunger dip that you get in the second half because of the insulin kicking in. But what is here the standard? Can you not educate players in getting the best out of themselves with something that is technically just coaching? And if it's technically coaching, how can it turn into this? That is something that is really get in my mind, like how is this possible? And then you get to the double standards. If I would have been a man, I mean, who would care even about something like that? Who would care? People would say it's your task to prepare players to be the best on the pitch. It's your task as a coach to educate yourself, to study, and to bring over your knowledge to players. But there has not been 1 second of dealing with it in the fact of it would harm their bodies. It's just absolutely nonsense.
Thank you, God.
Thanks, Bryce. I know you had sent a letter as part of the investigation. Would you be open to discussing further with the NWSL considering that there is new leadership? I know your path, were you to choose to come back to the NWSL, there has to be basically approval via the commissioner.
I'm absolutely open to talk because I think we have a problem here. We have a huge problem in USA, especially. Abroad it's starting to kick in also. But I am one of over 220 female coaches that is accused of abuse while doing just the job of coaching, without doing any harm to anyone. Over 220. That is not just some others. That is, as a female coach, you're not safe in your coaching. You're not safe to do your job. There's double standards here, and I think that is what I would like to discuss with NWSL. That report was coming out after that I received a letter from them that I could talk with them in not the investigators, the attorneys, because they have not investigated. And I said immediately, I want to know what I'm accused of here, because if anything, I've protected players, and I've also always used in Dutch, put the health and safety of players above the performance even, which I always do, and I'm known about and famous about that. So immediately the next morning, and the only thing that I asked is, can I record? I'm polite. No, I said, I'm polite. I'm recording this conversation because there were 4 people in front of me. And I was on my own. And they said, that's the first time. No, you can't record it. I said, but surely you will record it. No, we don't record it either. And I said, but if you don't record, how can you then have an objective one view to another view? How can? I said, it's absolutely normal here in Europe. You don't even have to say it. And then they left. They said, we leave it. We're going to discuss. They came back. They said, we decided that you cannot record it. I said, where is it on paper? Because I need to protect me. I'm accused here of something that I don't know what. And they said, again, 5 minutes back, they said, you have to stop the recording now because otherwise we put you under. And I said, here's my phone. I switch it off. And they said, right, we stop the record. We stop the talk. Poof. And that was it. So I decided indeed to write down what I would think out of Twitter, because somebody put all kind of ridiculous things about me on Twitter for some kind of reason. So I have written answers on that because I couldn't imagine what else would be. And then, of course, well, not only me, there's other women as well putting into this report, being put next to rapists. Can you imagine, with my background, do you know my background?
Yes.
Can you imagine what that does to a person? Can you feel what that does to a person if you read it then? Can you imagine? Mm-hmm. That is something, at the first instance, you're completely thrown out. What is happening here? But then I got so much support from my team and from the people in Ireland who do know me and who said, because I went out immediately, I was so angry because everywhere I go, the health and safety of the players comes first. And I've put my head on the block on more than one occasion, more than 10 occasions, to stop abuse. It has cost me huge amounts of money. It has cost me my place at FIFA. It has cost me everything to have the health and safety of players first. And now I'm accused of things that just haven't even happened. And what if it would have happened? And you look really what it is. And if you put a male coach against it, then nobody would have even argued about it. But I am the opposite of it. My personality, my character is here putting in to report. That is the opposite of what I stand for. And I do never punish players. I do never swear. She can say that. I do never shout at players. I am honest, and I stand for development. And I want to create an environment which thrives to development for every single person in that environment. And if you would have known the amount of support that I got from my former players from 1998 onwards until now, then we would not have even this question. It is absolutely ridiculous what is put in that report. And the way that I've been treated. Because if you then say that I have not cooperated, whereas the attorneys did not do their job, because they did not investigate, they reported something, and what is behind it, I don't know, but we need to look into the situation that every single female elite coach can be put in this situation. Because 220, we need to educate something, and we need to go through it. You need to write about that. I'm not sure if there's here big papers or nationwide, but I'm absolutely happy to go to NWSL to discuss the fact what female coaches perceive and why that is. Thomas Newkirk is here, he's an attorney, and he has over 220 cases in his case, how do you say that? In his
caseload.
Yeah, to deal with that. And that is not nothing. That is something that we with each other need to take care of. Really, really. Because no female coach is safe. And it's not only the safety of the players, the safety of the female coaches are here on the table. And the safety of the female coaches is something that is far behind the safety of the male coaches. Is that an answer?
Vera, kind of a more personal question. Have these allegations kind of changed the way you coach at all? Is it in the back of your mind while you're coaching what some of these allegations were?
No, again, if you would have read all the reactions that I got from the players throughout my whole career, they all say, what a nonsense is this? We know you, we've seen you, we've worked with you, we've worked for years with you. Never, ever, ever have you body shamed anyone at all. And at Houston, that's also not at one single moment. I have been raped. I have been sexually assaulted. I have perceived power abuse, intimidation, isolation, everything, the worst thing that a woman can get in an organization. I am absolutely aware of the power that I have as a coach. And that is why I put on myself, whatever happens, the abuse, whatever player is doing, whether it's to me, whether it's to an opponent, I choose the side of education and not of punishment. So at moments that even my assistant said, well, now you put her really on the bench. You cannot, now you have to stand up and you have to set an example. You have to put her on the bench next game. No, never, ever. I do not punish because I know that I have the power in my hand. So I know how to deal with that because I have perceived myself what it is if a coach is abusing the power, let alone using the power. So I'm very much aware of my situation.
Any questions? Any questions about this before we move on to? No, want to talk about some football? Go.
We're sitting here with a player, a fabulous player who is playing her 100th cap tomorrow, and we are so proud of her. So please move the attention to her.
Jerry Longman with the New York Times. For both of you, Denise, were you here in 2000? Were you on the team in 2017 when the threatened boycott and the treating like fifth-class citizens?
Yes, I was there.
How much did that sort of standing up for yourself and then later getting equal pay? How much did that, would you say, directly influence your ability to qualify for this World Cup?
I think it was crucial. Back then, doing that stand, I think it was necessary at the time, and I think there was some big players there that are not here today that really, really helped that situation, helped us to move forward. And since then, the FAI have been absolutely fantastic. The association has been great with the team, and we have really good standards now, really good resources. We have the most staff we've ever had on this team. So there's been a lot of positive influence since then, and I think it really helped in qualification for the World Cup.
Could you sort of elaborate on exactly how you think it helped?
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously the resources with this team, everything we've been given since then, the staff that have came in and been involved, they've really helped evolve this team. I think the influence of women's football back in Ireland is absolutely huge, and that pushed the growth of the game back there, and we've seen that. It gave us confidence as players, and I think that's really how it helped.
Can I ask a follow-up? Is there tangible evidence since you qualified for the World Cup in either in increased funding or more girls playing or increased sponsorship? Is there tangible evidence yet of what impact actually qualifying has had?
Yeah, for sure. I think we've the most young girls and boys playing now in Ireland. I think the funding we have been given has been a lot. Our sponsorships have increased with this team, and I have to put Sky in there. They have been an absolutely fantastic sponsorship to this team. They've given everything. They've supported the team, and for us as players, looking at that, it really gives us confidence and going into this World Cup.
How would you describe the style of play of your team, and did it change with the coaching change? Is it a Dutch style, an Irish style?
Yeah, I think Vera's come in, and I think she's brought a really good style into this team. We'll always be that passionate Irish team, defensively very good in every single game, very compact, hard to break down. But what I think personally that Vera has brought is a freestyle play for us. I think we have freedom on the pitch, and I think that's really brought every player the confidence to do well in this team. So that is very, very important for every single player. So we're looking now to play more football. Vera has brought that in, and I'm very happy about that. But yeah, we definitely have a long way to go, but we're making strides and it's going really well.
Vera,
Maybe to add a bit.
Yes, please.
I always start with the culture where I'm coaching. I've coached in South Africa, well, first Scotland, then back to my own country, then in Russia, also 2 years, in South Africa, now Ireland. And I always see myself as a guest of the country and now of a helper of the players. So I start with where they've left the previous step. So before me, it was Sue Ronan, before Sue Ronan, Noah King, Sue Ronan, Colin Bell. They have brought the team already up to a certain level, and that is then the starting point. But the culture of the country is the playing style that suits the players best. And you can imagine that in Ireland, it's completely different than in my own country. But if you want to get the best out of the performance, then the starting point is the strength of the culture in the country. So therefore, you said a Dutch style of play. No, probably if you look at what people perceive as the most Dutch style of play, played with South Africa, all street football players. Not even with my own country, because we were not ready for it. But this team, the strength is that they can press forward, and within that pressing, for when we win the ball, that the whole team has the capacity to make a switch forward. And we will be under huge pressure tomorrow. And that's why we play here, because we need to learn how to do that under that huge pressure.
Thank you.
What's that?
Vera, just on Sinead Farrelly, you spoke about kind of what got her to this point and got her into the squad. But can you speak about kind of where it goes from here, like what you've seen in the last couple of days and what you think she can bring to the squad, and is she ready to start tomorrow?
Sinead is a player that, like no other in our squad, can make the ball free. So under pressure, she makes the ball free, and that gives a calmness in our play that we needed. At least that is the first impression that we have. And therefore, her whole family is from Ireland. Her family is visiting Ireland very regularly. She's very proud to be able to represent Ireland. And the uncertainty was because she was out for a long time. She only played 2 friendlies and 20 minutes competitive, apart from a long way of first training her body up to this level. And again, I said I've been involved in that whole phase. Hopefully she brings what we're looking for, to be able to get more control in our attacking play. And yes, she will start tomorrow.
And Denise is someone who can make the ball free all the time yourself. I mean, what have you seen from her in a couple of sessions so far?
Pretty similar to Vera, to be honest. Sinead's only been here a few days, but already in training she has been the standout player, to be quite honest. And I think just her, as Vera said, her calmness on the ball is different to everyone on the team. And then her ability to get into spaces, get on the half turn. She's an excellent player with the ball at her feet, definitely.
If I take her off tomorrow, that is to protect her. Because she of course is not ready for a full game at this level. But we will get her ready for the World Cup.
Thank you. Denise, so the World Cup, FIFA increased the prize money significantly for the Women's World Cup. And I wanted, kind of along the same lines of Jerry's questions, I wanted to talk about what that means to you for women's football and to the team in general. I mean, what does that boost in financing, and prize money do for you guys?
Yeah, it's incredible to see that. It's been a long time coming, but now to see it, it's absolutely great for us and the team. And we just want, we're getting there with equality, and that shows that the prize money is going up. And the funding is fantastic for us going into World Cup. It's a really positive thing going into it. And I think for us, we're as a team. We're just really excited for this, and honestly, we're just going to go there and do everything we can for the country and do the country proud.
Denise, for the 100th cap, right? How do you balance the emotions of being able to celebrate this moment, being able to celebrate with your teammates, and still knowing like there's still a full 90 minutes to play after this?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's an absolute honour. I think, as someone who has always been obsessed with football since a kid, and the dream is always to get a cap, but to go on to 100, it seems surreal and very special. But honestly, the way I am, my full focus is on tomorrow in the 90 minutes, and as much as it's a massive honour to get my 100 cap, the game is the most important thing for me, and to be able to do that with these girls, this staff, this team, it's a very special squad, and I'm looking forward to it.
Is there any banter between you and NWSL teammates? Are there any wagers riding on this
I've
game?
been texting Casey Murphy, alright, and spoke to Emily before I left. We just said, look, we won't be friends tomorrow, but we'll be teammates and friends again after the game. But look, they're great people. They're great people to have on my club team back home, and excellent players. The way they represent themselves and their country and how they carry themselves, and I'm looking forward to playing against them.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you very much.